Good evening everyone, welcome to Sociology Analytica. This is Pooja, Prasanna, your Sociology faculty. So today I'm going to take up one more question on Srinivas, though this question is not technically on Srinivas, but then it is on structure functionalism. So, I just wanted to make you understand that, in the syllabus, Srinivas is there. Along with Srinivas, there's also structure functionalism. So that's why, I want you, because most of them, they just study Srinivas or just study Gure, they study A.R. Desai, but then they don't study the perspective, how they study Indian society. So it's best to actually study perspective and then go and study the thinkers in detail. Fine. So this is a pretty much straightforward question. Again, the syllabus itself, it is there. So you take up any book, most of the books would have given the basic tenets of what is structure functionalism and how they are studied Indian society. Okay. The first and foremost thing, how you can start your answer is, you can start your answer, that is how structure functional tradition of India is. So see, you must be knowing that structure functionalism is not a school of thought which is specifically to Indian society. It is mostly which is mostly a perspective which is borrowed from both European European structure functionalism as well as American structure functionalism. Whereas on the other hand, Indology is something of purely a Indian school of thought. So that you can actually mention. And then you can also mention about few thinkers who have studied from structure functionalist perspective. For example, Srinivas. Okay, Srinivas has studied the courts of Mysore or South India from the British tradition of structure functionalism. W.H. Weiser has also studied from British tradition of structure functionalism. Only thing is, Srinivas has studied the whole of court society. W.H. Weiser has only studied the Jajmani system. And then S.C. Dubey has also used structure functionalism in his study in order to study the village studies. So S.C. Dubey is known for village studies, and for all his village studies, he has actually used structure functionalism. So one or two examples you can give. And then you can move on to the key premises on the understanding of Indian society. That is key premise of structure functionalist to understand the Indian society. Now you can go. Okay, so what you can do is you can actually write a point, and then in case if you can remember any thinker's name, what they have done, how they have studied, you can write as an example for that particular point. Okay, see, first and foremost thing is they aim to understand the pattern of relationship, social institution, and their working in the society in a holistic manner. See, this is typically of any structure functionalism. This point you should know by heart, that structure functionalist means what? They'll try to understand the pattern. That is, what is the pattern between one variable to that of the other variable. That is, for example, what is a pattern between father and daughter? How do they interact? So they always try to find the pattern between the relationship and the social institution, how they are related to the social institution, that is called as family. Okay, and how and they are working in society in holistic manner. That is how family as a society works in a society at large. Did you understand how they do? So first they'll try to understand the pattern, and then how the pattern is there in that particular social institution, and that how that social institution is functional, how it is working in a bigger manner to the whole of society in a holistic way. So this is a very typical point of all the structure functionalists. So this you have to mention. Okay, so this is the main point, you have to mention this point. So for that, what I have done is I have taken example of Srinivas. So Srinivas, when he studied Coorg society, he just did not give an ethnographic account of Coorg society. He did not give, so and so a caste is there, so and so people are there, so and so this is how they live. He just did not give the ethnographic account. Along with that, he also tried to understand the holistic solidarity. That is how, despite having so many different castes, so many different culture, so many different rituals and everything, how despite of that, how solidarity was there, how different institutions were connected, how they were working together, how they were working for the consolidation of solidarity. So this is what he actually tried to understand, when he studied the Coorg society. So he tried to understand in a holistic manner. Next point is interpretation of a particular social phenomena in functional terms within the larger social context. See, again, structure functionalist, this is also a very important cliche point. That is, every structure functionalist or functionalist in general will try to understand how a particular social phenomena is functional. Okay, how it is functional, what are its positive impact on the society, what are the positive impacts that it is actually leading to the social solidarity in the society. Understand? So for example, here also again you can take Srinivas for example. Here I have taken a different person, that is Airavati Karve. K.M. Kapadia has also studied. Okay, K.M. Kapadia, Airavati Karve. All these people have done a study on family. Okay, so they have not just study on family, they have tried to understand how family is functional to the society at whole. How family is giving positive impact so that there is a continuation of solidarity within the family, within the society. So this is what they have tried to explain. See, don't explain too much. You just write down in one line. That will be more than sufficient. Next, they have looked into social differentiation present in the society. See, this is actually very important point with respect to what? With respect to the previous Indology. Okay, according to previous Indologists, there was no differentiation. So they used to think that however the social picture was there, so that is actually the right, or that is the picture that was meant to be. Okay, but then for the first time, so this is structure functionalists looked into the social differentiation present in the society. That is, yes, there is upper varna. Okay, that is Brahminical Varna, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, Avarna. So this is a social differentiation which is present. So there is upper class, there is middle class, and then there's lower class. So there are social differences, there are cleavages which is present in the society. Okay, so for the first time, structure functionalists try to identify the social differences. And how did they try to identify? They actually they did not talk in terms of a negative. Okay, they did not talk in terms of conflict per se. They actually talked, those social differences are there. So Brahmins are different from Avarnas, or they are different from Shudras. They are different. But then everyone is functional to the society. Everyone is doing their job. Everyone has a role to the functionality of the society, and everyone is functional to the society. So this is how they'll be studying. Okay. The next point is they broke the mold of timeless and unchanging Indian society. This is also from what? Per se, from the Indology per se. What did Indology say? Indology say that the Indian society is unchanging society. Whatever it was there from Vedic time period, it has been continuing even till today. So India has never changed. So all the social institutions, whatever it is there, it is actually continuing from the past. So if you remember, Gure actually tells like that, Indian society is continuing from the past. So we have to understand from the historical moorings to understand the present time society. This is how Gure says. But then Srinivas or structure functionalists in general, what they say is that no, Indian society is not continuity. Okay, it is not, actually Indian society is changing. It is changing on a greater scale. And they are the first one to identify the dynamicism of Indian society. For this, actually you can write Srinivas example. Srinivas through his example of Sanskritization, Westernization, okay, through his example of dominant caste, through his example of Sanskritization, Westernization, dominant caste, he has tried to explain how the caste system or how the Indian society is changing with the time. Did you understand? Next is, see, Indologists only studied from cultural angle, only from culture per se they studied. But structure functionalists, yes, they also studied from cultural angle, but along with culture, they also try to show how structure of society is also changing. Okay, that is the changing structural context, that is society, whatever the caste system was there. Say for example, through the concept of dominant caste, okay, so Vokkaligas are actually dominant caste. Vokkaligas were actually dominant caste of Mysore region or Karnataka region. But then, traditionally they were not the dominant caste, but then eventually because of the change in structure of society, they became the dominant caste. Did you understand? So not just from the cultural angle, they also tried to study from the structural context also. And then finally, they emphasized on comparative understanding of various social institutions. That is, in order to understand a particular social institution, what we need to do? We need to go for a holistic. We need to compare the two different social institutions, or we need to compare two different time period. Okay, to, same institution with two different time period. Okay, let's say caste, that is pre-British or post-British. Or did you understand? So we need to do a comparative study of, let's say, one part of India, that is southern part of India, to that of the northern part of India. Did you understand? So they actually went for a comparative understanding to have a holistic understanding of how Indian society is changing with the time, or how social institutions of Indian society is changing with the time. Did you understand? So these are certain key premise of structure functionalism in their understanding of Indian society. So after writing this, so for example, everything here gives one example. After writing everything, what I would suggest you is, though they have brought some new concepts, new style of understanding, a new way of understanding, that is good. But then it's better to actually point out certain criticism, at least one or two criticism. Please do write. What is that? The first and foremost is they completely ignore the conflict. See, in the previous point here, we did say that they looked into social differentiation. That is, there are people are belonging to different strata. So every strata is functional to the society. This is how they say. But then technically, not every time the difference, the social difference, whatever it is there, not every time it will be functional. In some cases, the social strata or the social cleavages, whatever it is present, it can be dysfunctional to the society also. And they never talked about the conflict angle of the social differences, which was later on taken up by Marxist Indian sociologists. Okay, did you understand this? And then finally, they lacked purity. They lacked purity. Why is this they lacked purity? In the first slide itself, yeah, here itself I talked that the structure functionalism, see, the way Indology is purely Indian perspective, structure functionalism is not Indian perspective. Okay, so structure functionalism was influenced by both American as well as European tradition. So whenever they study Indian society, what happened? So a bit of influence, American and Western, that is the whole of Western influence was there on Indian society. So whenever they studied Indian society, they try to indulge, they try to understand from the Western lens. So because of this, they actually lacked purity. So see, first and foremost thing is two-way. One is they completely did not study structure functionalism. Okay, and also if you see most of the Western structure functionalists, they seldom give give importance to culture. They give more importance to structure of the society, but then they seldom give importance to culture of the society. Understand? So here the Indian structure functionalists also gave importance to the culture angle to the Indian society, to the structure functionalism in understanding Indian society. So that is why they actually lack. Completely they were not like Western functionalists, and completely they did not even study like a Indologist. So they come somewhere between both. So because of this, they actually lack the purity of structure functionalism. Understand? So like this, you can end your answers through some of the criticism. Okay, did you understand? And tomorrow I'm going to come up with, we'll start a new thinker, that is A.R. Desai, 2 questions of A.R. Desai for the week. Okay. In case if you have further any doubts, so please drop your queries in the comment section. I'll see you all tomorrow with A.R. Desai. Thank you so much.